How bad actually is it? I feel like everyone is constantly hysterical at the moment about inflation, interest rates, cost of living, rental crisis, etc., etc. But at the same time, I've never seen more people who are overseas holidaying in Europe, Japan, US, NZ. Also having so many conversations with people who are reducing hours at work to have a better work-life balance. Interested to know how everybody is feeling out there? Are we truly in crisis right now? Today I saw 8 homeless people in Burley. In Burley, not in a van, but sleeping rough. Personal effects in shopping trolleys like this is SF or something. Never seen that before. Rents definitely have skyrocketed in recent years. A big part of the problem is that interest rates have polar opposite effects on the population. One part of the population is struggling under the weight of rising mortgage costs, while another is reveling in high savings interest rates, i.e. boomers with no mortgage. Also having so many conversations with people who are reducing hours at work to have a better work-life balance. With regards to this, in my experience, people are tired of working hard with no material improvement to their standard of living. Well, holidaying in Japan is insanely cheap these days. You can almost save money going to Japan as opposed to staying in Sydney. Japan is cheap. I actually consider people who go on trips domestically as rich. 1 week holiday in Australia is equal to 2 weeks in Asia. There's basically 3 buckets and only one of them makes news. Bucket 1. Some people are really feeling it. About 15% of the adult population is now in mortgage stress. Lots of news content. Bucket 2. Actually totally fine, but for the first time in a long time can't have their cake and eat it too. These are the people appearing in the news as case studies for bucket 1. Bucket 3. Totally fine, not panicked, still putting money away for the future and going about their daily life. No news value here, so their stories aren't told much. Can we stop with the "my local cafe is packed" type of posts already? Look at the data on the amount of people falling below the poverty line, in mortgage stress, savings levels, etc., instead of relying on what someone posted on Instagram from Greece. Single mum due to DV. Went from paying $360 to $550 in rent. Used to drive 45 minutes to work, changed jobs still with same company closer home now to save money on petrol, car also cut down on buying so much food to cover rising cost of rent, electricity, gas. Have prepaid phone, internet. Used to go to the movies occasionally or have the odd takeaway, not anymore. Most people I know are just barely getting by. I even know some working homeless people. But then again, most people I know are low income earners. Low income earners are definitely feeling the pressure of cost of living. I think people are like, I'll never buy a house. Life sucks. Better to be on a beach in Europe. So it's really bad. But, party in hell. You know. If there was one lesson I learned from the referendum, it was that I definitely live in a bubble and it's next to impossible to see, experience, understand and live the daily situation of other people living in different circumstances to myself. I suspect everyone has this same limitation, TBH, unless you are in the business of processing survey statistics. I truly believe it's very tough out there, just silently so. Be kind, stay cool. Perspective is a beautiful thing. It's not good depending on your life choices, heck some of those might not even be made by you. Anyone who says things are fine needs to work in charities or some other vulnerable cohort. Things are not fine. My work has rapidly increased, with a lot more government intervention, especially for vulnerable groups. It usually takes time for these sort of things to surface properly. And I get proven time after time that it takes most people a lot of energy and reflection to properly internalize things. They can't see the bigger picture at first, if at all. I do volunteer work with people rough sleeping, living in cars, homeless, etc. We get new faces each week, particularly those with disabilities and young children. It's heartbreaking. We often wish for more. More money, more holidays, a bigger house, the latest appliances, etc. But we often forget by wishing for such things or comparing ourselves to others just how many have too little or nothing at all. I am guilty of this myself. The impression I get from your post is that you are upper middle class, and as such associate mostly with people in that cohort, and are taking your personal observations from inside that bubble as reflective of the general population. But I've made a few assumptions there, so feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Watch shopping centres all over Australia be full to the brim this weekend. We are becoming a two-tier society. You are well off or you are struggling. Finding a home to rent is my issue. I earn over 100k but found getting a rental really hard in Melbourne 3 years ago. Now the situation is even worse with only 6 weeks to find a new house. As bad as it is, I'd rather live in a country with decent free-ish healthcare and public services than be struggling with COL in a place like the USA, where sickness can literally make you homeless. Need to keep an eye on the unemployment rate, everything else is pretty much just noise. When that starts to tick up is when the pain will really begin kicking in. Australians have the highest household debt per capita. They're living off credit. Ever heard of the Roaring Twenties? Everyone was living off credit then too. I'm a single parent. I walk everywhere. I bought 5 different pairs of sneakers and I wear a pair each day, let them others dry out and days get done that way. Feet don't hurt. Get my exercise in. Rather this than hundreds on petrol. I moved my bed in my room at my dad's house to discover black mold behind it. It's okay though. I'm sure his cig smoke will kill me before the black mold does. Luke, 33-year-old with 60k deposit and a 70k a year job. There's a lot of people that live at home with parents until they're married, so I mean there's a lot of people saving stupid amounts and traveling. My work has fallen off a cliff this financial year. Had 2 really good years and now it's dead in my business. Phone leads gone cold. It's very quiet out there in some industries. Others are booming. Most people I see holidaying overseas have jobs and aren't business owners. I just bought a new bed frame and mattress. Life is good. It's cheaper for me to holiday in Asia than stay at my place in Sydney. If I Airbnb the house, I actually make money. Massively feeling it. I'm earning more than I ever have but am struggling more than I ever have. Single mum but have survived okay as a single mum for 9 years. I'm genuinely scared right now. Just went grocery shopping and didn't buy half of what I needed because everything was just stupidly expensive, so only buying specials now. I manage a team of 3 but can't afford the parking costs for work. Our combined gross is about 180k and our mortgage repayment is currently $3,300 a month. We have a kid in daycare 2 days a week. We both WFH 8-9 days a fortnight. We most certainly aren't wealthy, but we live a simple life. Most of our entertainment is through the day for free beach, park, hiking. We have 1 streaming service at a time and rotate it when we need. We both have gym memberships at cheap gyms. Eat out once or twice a week. We don't buy gadgets or new clothes. Our vehicles are both 10 years old and well maintained. This sub is for people planning what to do with their third investment property to make the most out of it, lol. It's not really the place where people will squeal when the eggs costs $1 more or whatever. You won't get an accurate picture of the harm of inflation here. It's bad. Those people are giving up future security to live now. I don't blame them, tbh. Important point that comes into the smashed avocado Europe holiday discourse because of the impossibility of saving up to buy a house, even for young people with decent jobs. A lot of people on decent incomes have a load of disposable income to burn because they feel that saving for a deposit is pointless. People spending money on short-term stuff is a symptom of a bigger issue. Haves are having it easy. Have-nots are having it hard. I'm pretty chill, 22, living with parents still. Most people I know complain at how much things have gone up, but buy it anyway. No one seems to be cutting any spending, increasing of anything. Still buying new cars and going on holidays. I have been told that 1 in 7 Aussies now have more money going out than actually coming in every month.